This reggae revival thing where everybody are talk about, is something where happened many times before this, Taurus Riley dropping Parables, and then when Protege dropped Rasta Love with Kimani Marley, I think that was a big pivotal moment in the entire movement.
As an independent artist, KEZNAMDI,
Yeah.
you won the Grammy for Blood and Fire. What went through your mind when you hear your name was announced?
I'm an ambassador of Jamaica, on the global space, bringing the highest level and standard of music for showcase with culture. As a culture, for us to actually make a mark, it can't just be one person doing well. Masicka is one of my favorite artists. We did Bleach for Mavado, you know what I mean? And we thought we were going to record the song and we never do it. Vybz Kartel, yo, what a man, like, we can't just look at what him achieving in a global space.
There was also a conversation where people felt like Vybz Kartel should have posted KEZNAMDI because, not have a song together. But for persons who think that he should have done that, what do you think? Were you surprised by some of the naysayers across social media? And was that something that you were mentally prepared for?
The chat always a chatting, so we big up the chat. Forget a direct call from the King of Dancehall himself. It was an honor to even receive that call.
Good afternoon, Kez. Welcome.
Yeah, man, Kshema, give thanks, man. It's an honor.
Congratulations! Oh my gosh! Congrats! Look, we're gonna get into the album, get into the whole Grammy feeling and vibe. Yeah. But we're really happy that you chose IRIE FM for your first interview. Respect.
Yeah, man. When Courtney in pressure me, I say, yo, I forgot the IRIE FM and Kshema the first interview, cause we really did it from them time there, you know what I mean? And always been showing support, and you and Courtney have on a show What's the Scoop, where put on so much young talent out there to the world, you know what I mean? And these platforms are so important for up and coming musicians. So it was only right to come and do this interview,
Amazing.
One and only.
Yeah, we really respect that. So let's start with your foundation though, Kez. I mean, how would you describe your childhood growing up at Skyline Drive, Kingston, Jamaica?
Well, we grew up uptown, you know what I mean? And we grew up in a Rasta family, you know what I mean? So the foundation at home, I was always privileged to have the both parents in my household, so it was very balanced and just in a very conscious space all the time, you know what I mean? My father and mother always instill humbleness in a way as youth I grow up and make sure we don't feel like we're bigger or better than nobody, you know what I mean? And yeah, them things they still instilling now in this day right now. So yeah, man, it was a very musical home, a home of full of love and full of nice. And yeah, man.
Yes, siblings as well. But something that you mentioned that I want to follow up with, like you said that you grew up in a Rastafarian household, and this was at a time when, not to feel like you're old or anything, but it was at a time where it wasn't cool to grow your locks. It wasn't fashion. What was that like for you?
Every September, my mother did have to go down to the Ministry of Education for fight with cars, for don't make with trim locks. You know what I mean? That's why I remember a song where I said, the teacher said, for trim your natty dreadlocks. Them no want a Rasta man in them school. A long time my mother fighting. Camila McDonald is the first Rasta down at Immaculate Conception High.
Yes.
Just to put things in perspective. And see how right now you have a lot of people wearing dreadlocks as style, but in them time, man. Yeah, man, we used to get teased at school and so we hear dirty, and parents never really want them kids to come play up our yard because our father up there burn ganja up there and drugs and them things. So them used to view, so enough fight to fight, enough barriers. My mother, as simple as you see her, enough barriers she broke down the schooling system when it come to dreadlocks. So yeah, man.
Wow, amazing. And speaking of your sister, Camilla, she shared her journey right here on the road to success. So she gave us that story. Yeah. So no, it's your journey now, and then soon Kelly saw. Yeah. But speaking about being a part of a musical family, how did your parents' group Chakula actually shape your early relationship with music?
Well, as I say, it was a part of it's my family trade, music. Everybody in
Mm-hmm.
my family do music, whether them I do it professionally or them just do it as a hobby. That just like how you have a family a lawyer, family a doctor, our trade is music. So most of we can sing, most of we can play an instrument and thing. But it was never, you have to understand, my parents never, it wasn't a career thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
It was a message and revolutionary thing for them when it come on to music. So it wasn't like they were ever trying to shape us in a way to become. Music was just a part of our life because it's good for your spirit and good for your
Mm-hmm.
soul, and it's a good way for you to express themselves. It was more like that's why they involved music in our life. It wasn't like them was trying to involve music for say, all right, we're gonna get Kelly Sano, we're gonna make her do our scale them, we're gonna no, it was more of a conscious thing. And for me, as I say, I wasn't really the talented one in my family. It was really like Kelly and Camila, because them could sing.
Mm-hmm.
I never start know for sing till later on in my life. And I for me, you know, my father would have never even allow me to go to studio. My
Oh
father. He used to
wow.
tell me, say, you now go studio until you can play an instrument. And them days I used to feel like say my father fight against me. I say, oh in my you know what I mean? But as we become an adult now, we really understand what he was trying to make we know. Say, yo, music is not a joke thing, it's a discipline, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to do that. And and put the guitar in my hands and teach me my first two chords. I think it was yeah, my first two chords on the guitar, and actually it's the guitar teach me how to sing. And then
Wow.
that kind of changed the whole course, everything. But music wasn't really my thing. And until I was always when my parents them used to rehearse in the studio and them thing there and them have show a forward and them thing there. We used to go around the drum set and fumble with it or play the keyboard before the bandsman them come back in and thing. But football was really my thing. I
Yeah,
was good at football.
we're
Yeah,
going to get to
yeah,
football.
yeah,
Well, before we get to
yeah.
football now, as you mentioned, the emphasis that your parents kind of place on certain things, and I realized, from doing some research that you grew up between Jamaica, Tanzania, Ethiopia. That kind of unique experience. How did those early
Yeah.
travels, KEZNAMDI, influence, your sound or even just you as an individual?
Well, as my mother worked for the UN, so at the time, I think I was in second farm at Woolmans. My mother come to me and say we are moved to Tanzania. Them time I
Mm-hmm.
don't even know what is Tanzania. Me I say, and we open up the map and she show you, and it's in East for that all who don't know, Tanzania is in Eastern Africa. And being of Rastafari faith, Africa was a center in our household when it come on to discussion and just spirituality and etc. So it was an exciting move for all of us. I feel like, I had a very unique upbringing, being of Rastafari. And then, as you said, we grew up in Jamaica. Then we got to, my first plane flight is to Africa. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Everybody, most people go America, Miami, and UK. My first flight we gone to Africa. And yeah, I think it matured me very quickly because you're in spaces and places that you have to adapt because you're in a place where you don't know the language, you don't know the culture, it's new food, you don't know where you are, there's nothing around you. Imagine you reach a one place, there's
Wow.
nothing around you, but you know. So I think those things did make our family get a little bit more closer to because all we had was each other, you know what I mean, until we start but and then I think just being exposed to all of these new things, it was very stimulating as a youth, to be exposed to all of this culture. And then now you're exposed to the richness of African music. So yeah, as you said, and then we lived in Tanzania for 3 years, and then I moved to Ethiopia and I did another 3 years here and graduated in Ethiopia. my graduate. So big up all of the Ethiopian them and Tanzania family. You know, we still keep up with them to this day. Them a big for me for forward over there now and
Wow.
come, come do our thing. But yeah, man. So it was an upbringing where you really shape and changed the whole course of my life.
That's
Yeah.
that's amazing, and like you would have said, it was unique. But here it is, a soccer scholarship brought you to California. Tell
Yeah.
us about that and what actually made you trade soccer for music,
Yeah,
football.
so the football thing now is that when I have to understand, the whole of my sister them a big top scholar them, So most of them get full scholarship for go mommy go Harvard, full scholarship, Camila, Stanford scholarship, Kimani, Kelly go Whittier. So all of my sister them and me was the kind of the bad
Rebel.
fruit of the fire, what I mean? Not say rebel, but what I mean. We never have the patience to sit down with the book, what I mean? So really and truly football now. St. Mary's a college in California. The only school where we did really kind of show any kind of interest, and I think it was a lot to do with the football as well. So, um, basically, um, we went to. So I was really it was a preliminary interest where they invited me to come out pre-season in the summer for go train with them, and when we train with them, it kind of did seal the deal. So football was really my little escape for sorry, somebody keep calling me. My father call me every minute. No,
Yeah,
no, me
Daddy,
probably
he's live.
probably people are telling me they're on Iris, so probably I try call me. But yeah, that was my little escape, it was football what kind of did bring me to the US, and but then first year we were doing really well, and me tear my MCL, my meniscus, and my ACL because I was very young. I never understand that level because it's D1 football we were playing, and it's very competitive, and I was just playing with hunger. You know what I mean? Cause me have a heart, so me I go in some idiot tackle and thing. Anyway, at that time I already knew that I wanted to do music though. Like probably about 12, 13, me start record myself. So by the time I go college, me done. It was me know somebody didn't want the music, but at that time there was no outlet like what me I go do. You know what I mean? So I say, all right, mommy, I come from an education background family, and them really take education serious. So never want to let mommy down and thing. But after doing that, no, I wasn't playing. So there was no more. It's not like them gonna get a scholarship. They're gonna give you no scholarship for finishers. Yeah, they have their resources that may have to spread. So the coach basically I said that Naga can go on and sing, and it was a decision now where I had to take out a loan, to finish school. And when we look on the price of the loan and everything, me I say, yo, this not make no sense, cause my passion are there, so. And I think that was the deciding factor. And in them days, that Camila was doing her masters at Berkeley. And I remember me never have no place to stay them time. So I used to drive down to Berkeley now and go stay with Camila. Them time she pregnant with Kaylani. And we used to stay over there, and we used to help her with her pregnancy, and them time I come have a little place to stay and go and help her groceries, whatever, you know what I mean? And in
Yeah.
them days that we did just a try figure it now. That's when it officially, because we were mashing up the scene in college, we were doing a lot of performances and doing a lot of poetry nights and packing up all of the rooms in college and stuff, and it was becoming now a real thing. And at that time, the upsurgence of the so-called reggae revival movement was happening, and I was calling Kelisa every day, and she was just saying, yo, so every chance I could get to come to Jamaica, I was going to Jamaica because we did on Jamnesia, big up Jamnesia, where on there who's put a platform for we as youths. We the upper skyline, we there in all the little Kingston place them for perform with music and things. So that scene was happening at the time, right when I was coming out of college and things. So it right as that decision with football, it was just happening really quickly. Like it was very clear of what was next about to happen.
And
Yeah.
speaking about what was next to happen, Bridging the Gap, that
Yeah.
EP. Talk to us about, like you would have mentioned some of the challenges that you had, before, but then entering into Jamaica, you also spoke about the reggae revival. It was happening at the same time. Was it difficult for you to get a foot in? And what were some of the musical challenges you personally experienced, just, trying to get a space, your space in the industry?
Yeah, I think it was difficult for all of us. I'm gonna say all of us, the whole of the artists, them what them considering this reggae revival thing, because there was no space for it. There was no platform for it. There was no, not at that time. It was really only Taurus Riley, if I could remember correctly, like really pushing the live band culture with Dean Fraser them and thing, and then now, so there was no space for it. So there was nothing to really get our foot in because there was nothing there. It was just what was happening now. It was all of a sudden there was a girl named Jana, and all of a sudden me didn't know about Jesse Ryle from even before, just from through Daniel Bambata them and thing. So we didn't know about Jesse over Arden and thing, but it was just because we were on the same frequency, we ended up being in the same rooms and same spaces. Naturally, just not even upon a planting. It was just it
Organic.
was just a frequency organic thing. So there was no place to put a foot in. We were just all just going round the city in a Kingston and going any and anywhere, and then we become friends now. All of we, because we dep on the same mission, and I think that's when around that time Don Carleon was working on an album with Protege and they released Rasta Love. And I feel like that was a very pivotal moment in the movement of I think Taurus Riley dropping Parables was like the real, like, okay, there's something, and then now when Protege drop 7 Year Itch and him have the song with Dan, Rasta Love with Kimani Marley. I think that was a big pivotal moment in the entire movement where it start, like, people know that those songs really started to shed a light on all of us. So yeah.
So and that it's important that you tell that story that way as it relates to the reggae revival and how you became friends and everybody on that mission, kind of like-minded people with the same kind of goal. Do you feel like, or did you rather got the respect or the stamp of approval from the reggae entertainers that were before you? And if not, why do you think it didn't go that way? For example, like, the Iway and the Fantan Moja, that crop of reggae entertainers.
Yeah, I feel like say them did respect me. I just feel like it was still fresh. You know what I mean? It was new. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there was nothing to really say. It's not like these are just some young you. Yeah, everybody have to remember, this reggae revival thing where everybody are talk about, is something where happened many times before this, This is not the first time it happened, You had a whole reggae revival in a Bob Marley days where it was a revival of consciousness at the forefront. Where there's always a generation, every generation, there's gonna always be there's gonna be another reggae revival after we too. Because there's always gonna be a moment. Remember, say life is a cycle, The moon go up and the sun then come up, So this whole reggae revival thing, is a thing that happened many times before. When you have Buju Banton and all of them, then and then Sizzla Kalonji, them Capitan, the names them what you just call Iway, and so them did always show love, man. More, I don't even think say we lucky as reggae revival artists, as them say. Cause I feel like overall we get way much love than anybody. Not because them say we are good youth. What we are do wrong? All we there I do a spread positive. You for 8 that and we are make good music and we are try to bring the culture forward. I would have said that we did get love all the way. All the way. But it was just a slow burn, a slower journey because we don't really have shock value in our music, where the shock value thing where is a fast food thing and it happen quick because you're singing music to 16-year-old kids. Our music is not really for 16-year-old youth, like 16-year-old youth I go love it, but it's when a youth reach 20, 21 now and him just start pay bills. and him just left him mother yard now, and him young, and him start question himself. Him start for search a little deeper now, beyond where radio give them, or beyond where so now them can search for them own self. The first place them a go buck up upon KEZNAMDI or Prota or Kabaka Pyramid or Kelisa, that are when them start searching. And that's why when in those days it was high school performances we were doing a lot. It was university over UE. I remember we were performing UE. Remember Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, me have show over UE. You know what I mean? Because the youths them also reaching a time of a quest of a inner journey. And when you start to go, every human being go up on a inner journey. And when them start to go up on that inner journey, the music them have to find a music where I go
them can relate to.
And can relate to. So go back to the question. I think that Sizzla Kalonji was one of them. All of the names in what you call always show genuine support to our movement and the movement, because they are a part of the movement and they were once us too. So them know what we are got you.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. And just to continue on something that you mentioned, because, you know, when we look at even your music and what you put out there, songs like Champion, Victory, featuring Chronix, and Gideon with your sister Kelisa, you always, you know, put out music that carry strong, conscious reggae type of vibe to the space. But in the industry, you know, it often rewards sometimes trends over truth. You know, have you ever had a moment where on your personal journey, you know, irrespective of the reggae revival, have you ever felt like pressured to say perhaps dilute your message to stay relevant or to attain that commercial success?
No, sir. Never. Never it ever question me for make me feel. Because you have to remember, you know, you see me, as I say, I'm a privilege because I grew up with the parents who I have. So Chakula and Goldilocks, big up if you not listen this. Them man you set the foundation for make we know say music is not a joke thing. You have to remember, you know, when people listen to your music, you know, them become your melody, you know, they become your words, you know. Them become the rhyme scheme where you're saying, you know. So it's not, that is something where you never want to play with the consciousness of people. Yeah, it's not a thing for play with. Karma is a real thing, you know. So never ever. It was more like energy of maybe sometimes you have a little doubt in yourself, where it's just like Jano Star, like, oh, this not really depend the stage or the place where you'd want it to be or thing, but it never crossed my mind or never, because you see music, we not do music for money, you know, Kshema. You see me, if we did do music for money, moon there right you know I talk to you upon the phone, because I wouldn't have no money. You see me I say? Because it for the another journey is becoming an artist, especially having a conscious message, you're already at a disadvantage already when it come on to the platforms that are out there for this kind of music. They don't, Babylon don't like showcase them kind of music here, you know. So you're already at a disadvantage. But music, we do music our life. It's not something where even if we never get that Grammy or we never get no recognition, I would still be creating music. And that's why we shift our focus now, where it wasn't about trying to become the forefront runner, the man who is the artist. It was never the focus where we shift now is that there is a demand for this. There is a people that want to hear good music. And there is a demand for it. It's just that these people are not loud people. So let's build a community step by step, one by one. And that is now. And then also I felt like being around Protege, Chronix, John 9, Jesse Royal, Kabaka Pyramid, Micah Shemaya, the whole Baby Rock, Kabaka Pyramid, Corafire, the whole of them named it, you know what I mean? I think it was also, it gave me more confidence, you know what I mean? Because it's no, you're not just yourself, no, you're amongst a lot of great artists doing great things in their own respect. So I feel like being in that kind of community also, every time I doubted my situation, being around that kind of crowd, it always was a reminder that, yo, I'm not alone in this, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of youth too who have the same vision. We just have to keep the fight going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. City Lock remix, it brought Tory Lanez and a Vybz Kartel on one track with a KEZNAMDI. What did you want that record to represent
Yes.
musically and culturally?
Well, my first project was called Bridging the Gap, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like one of my superpower them is that I can bring worlds together just by the upbringing when we talk about being a global human citizen, literally, not just
Yes.
spiritually, but literally, and also being in the US, also being of mixed race and being a Jamaican out of many one people, I felt like I always was in a situation where I was the only person that had this kind of unique situation in any space that I was in. With the idea of no city lock, no, that was that situation to bring the space culturally together and bridge the gap there and bridge it across globally. You know what I mean? So having Tory Lanez on that record was recorded long time ago with before even Tory Lanez became who he was. You know what I mean? And I remember releasing that song that was in that right before COVID happened because we were starting to roll out for Bloodline, my first album. And me reach out, big up to the whole Vybz Kartel team. They always showed love, always just was a resource to I and I, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? With any question, big up TJ, anyway, them man, they always was just a resource. If we had any questions, if we needed help with anything, the Vybz Cartel team always showed Keznam the love and respect beyond the scenes. And even was able to bless me with a song, you know what I mean, and the energy musically. So big up the Vybz Cartel team anyway, where on there. Una always show I and I love and love and honor for that. Yeah. Yeah,
No,
man.
as an independent artist, KEZNAMDI, you
Yeah.
won the Grammy for Blood and Fire. What went
Yeah.
through your mind when you hear your name was announced?
Boy, yo, so much things happened that day, there, man, where it was just like it was a little bit profound, certain things, certain a little dream what certain people are getting and are revealed to me and thing. And I'm going to be real, Keshima, when I see the nominations, I wasn't really thinking too much. It was already a win for me to be nominated because everybody on that list has a massive company behind them. You know what I mean? Whether, Easy Star, big up Easy Star, who was behind Jesse Royal and Mortimer's project, who is a big company releasing a lot of massive reggae songs. Big up Ineffable, who is the front runner of things in the US right now, where they were dealing with Lila Ike and indignation behind Lila Ike project. Vybz Kartel is also independent, but he's also a
Mhm.
massive force behind him. He's a global, like he's a label in
Name.
himself, just him alone.
Yeah. Hmm.
So when list, it was just like for me, it was no chance. There's just no way. I'm glad I'm nominated, and as I said, my project is up on TuneCore. My TuneCore I pay $20 a month. You know what I mean? While everybody is locked into real serious. So for me, man, that like we have just a little micro team. Big up Tesfy, big up Nella, big up Steven. Anyway, one of them. Um, these are the people. Big up Great White. Anyway, you're there. These are the people that fight in the battles with us. And yeah, when we hear the name, me never move. She said blood. I think the
Yeah.
two X them. It was hard for her to read. I think so. She did take time for the blood, but some never move. But when me hear the fire now, I say, all right, yeah,
Are
man.
you?
Nah, man. It was. Kashima, me, I tell you, man. Like, me never experienced that before. I will be real with you. Me as a youth, me never really look for the clout from the industry. I
Yes.
always was on the outside, the black sheep when it come on to industry stuff. So I never really look on them thing there. You know what I mean? I don't like to get caught up in them things. So I really underestimated the power of the Grammys. Like, I was like, yeah, the Grammys, big award, give thanks, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, it was a joy, man. When them call my name, it's just like, yo, I couldn't believe it, and me I walk on the stage. When me reach the stairs, me realize me I forgot to say something now, cause me never really have nothing
You're
to say. So when
lying.
no, me not like me I walk through the car, me just a celebrate and things. When me reach the stairs, now me I say, or else me I forgot to say something, Or when me look out, me I see Kaylani, me I see Davido, me start get nervous now, cause pure star me I see in front of me, and me I say, yo, me don't even remember what me say. Me just say whatever forward from my mind, and me just talk it truth from my heart. But when we go beyond the stage now, side stage now, when we come off of the stage, it was just the whole team. I got crazy. And you have to remember, this is being televised. And we're in a
Yeah.
small little space when we come off the stage, and it's like about 10 away. Because them don't tell we say, you're not allowed to have people on the stage, like it's just you and press. So when them see the whole away, I come on, all of my, cause we did take up the whole row, so nobody not even business, them just a push past security and I go up on the stage and can't stop them. So when we go side stage, it's being televised, it's being recorded. So it's like everybody has and we just a bus be a blank, everybody I take out them firearm and a bus be a blank. And
Yeah,
them
we
just
saw
low,
that.
them couldn't stop we, and I think at that time to the whole of the family they dip on Zoom. Because they were watching the thing together on Zoom, and me I say everybody a ball and thing, and it me get little emotional. Cause yo, for make your people proud, man, and the nation proud. My gosh, man, me can't. There's no, the highest act that a human being can do is inspire somebody else. And I feel
Yes.
like we did that as a team. And that is why we're here doing what we're doing. And just all of the little people them we just support, even if it's just an Instagram post, them feel so good within themselves, say. And even just for Rastafari, just out of my family and what we represent, for we win it, we know for the Rastafari community is a big thing. And even just for the grassroots movement and all the little artists, them were a part of the crew who it hard, it's a hard uphill climb. So winning that, I think we just made so much people proud, and Jamaica know what time it is, and it's great to finally just be on the front paper now, finally after all these years, about 10 odd years we at this, and now do it for clout, Kshema, and now, and we
We know,
never sell out,
man.
and we never sell out the thing, and we never bow it to none of them, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it was a great moment for us so we can reach on the global space and
Mm-hmm.
still have integrity intact and still have a humbleness intact. And yeah, man, it's a
It's
joy,
it
man.
it's crazy that you said it wasn't a speech that was planned, because I felt like your speech was so profound. You used the opportunity to say reggae music. You defined it. It stands for truths and rights, African liberation. Then you go on to say you are representing dancehall and reggae music. Just that level of unity. So it's just amazing that that wasn't a planned speech.
Boy, as me tell you, say, me feel like me did blackout when me define. Me no know, it's like a different thing I talk out on. I wasn't even me talking. Me I gotta be real with you. Me no remember. It's not until all of the energy died down now, me go watch back and me I say, car, me did have more people when me did want big up, you know what I mean? Me did want big up more
Mm-hmm.
people who was a part, but me couldn't even remember nothing, car me genuinely never think, say, we would have been on that stage just because of the dynamic of how the Grammys work, you know what I mean? And how, it's you have to be really a part of the community, and all of these labels before me are very involved in the academy, So
So,
this is my
so
first nomination, my
as an
first nomination.
independent
Most people,
artist,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what I wanted to ask you though, Kez, was you said that you kind of had doubts based on how the Grammy stayed. Like you didn't feel like, it could have been your award. The fact that you have won as an independent artist, does that change your perception of the Recording Academy?
I think what it really showed me, Kashima, because you have to
Mm-hmm.
understand, a lot of people have this conspiracy thing. It's real human beings, The Recording Academy, is real human beings who take their votes very serious. If you can't buy a Grammy. If you could have buy a Grammy, enough more of that, none of we up there so would have get that Grammy there. Or be even a nominee if you could have. It's real human beings were actually listening to the work and actually making decisions based on the work. So I think that we went up when we're campaigning a project, we went up, and I think that we left that impression on people when they heard us spoke at certain events, or when we're showing them the album and they're going back to the platforms and seeing the level of thought that went into the project, not just on a music standpoint, but just how we carry ourselves. So I genuinely think that we left that impression on the voters. You know what I mean? And big up to the whole reggae fraternity too. There's a lot of people who reached out to sent us screenshots. Big up Cecile, she voted for we. I don't even want to call out certain names still, but a bunch of reggae people in the reggae community voted as well. So I think what that says, Kshema,
Your
nice
peers.
are always there, but you see the works, stay true to the works and actually better in your craft. And that will take you through life. Nothing, no Grammy, no nothing, none of them things can take you through life more than the works where you have. Yeah.
But what I want to ask you though, I mean, you have won a coveted accolade. And of course, we see where you've garnered like a lot of fans because you shot to #1 on several charts, Blood and Fire and that type of thing. KEZNAMDI is trending. But of course, in addition to the new fans, there are some detractors as well. Were you surprised by some of the naysayers across social media? And was that something that you were mentally prepared for?
Boy, Kshema, there's so much love outpouring out over this, where I feel like I would have been ungrateful to even take my time and even look on them thing there. I have so much love in my heart from this, and so much people. Like my phone has stopped ringing on Kshema. Literally, my phone. That's why it wasn't say. I know we had some communication problem with Courtney trying to organize this interview. It's literally my phone don't even keep battery. I feel like, for the blessing what the Almighty provide for I and I along this journey, for me, if you even look upon them thing, that I feel like it would have been a very ungrateful thing for me to do. And you have to understand at the end of the day, people have them views, you know what I mean? And how them see it. I feel like if anybody was to actually take a look deeper than just what they wanted, I think most of them, what the naysayers, I say, would also appreciate the works and the contribution that we make to this thing you call reggae music. And yeah, we have to understand it's not a local thing. This is a global thing. So locally, it may be some of them might be right or whatever, but we are representing Jamaica. I'm an ambassador of Jamaica, on the global space, bringing the highest level and standard of music for showcase with culture and Jamaica, this beautiful island. You know what I mean? And we contribute so much things to this world space, from music to culture to revolutionaries to activists. You know what I mean? From Bob Marley to Marcus Garvey. So for me, that's what we represented on the global space. And we're getting so much love from our peers and thing where we don't even see them thing there, honestly. Like, and to be honest, there's so much traffic on social media. I can't even see it. Even if I wanted to sit down and go through all the comments, and it's hard to see everything because it's so much coming in every minute, every hour. So yeah, it's hard to
Yeah. Now let's talk
blind
about
to them thing they can see. Me is a man. I'm blind to them thing. I'm deaf to them thing there.
Yeah, no, I can definitely get that. No, when we listen to Blood and Fire, Kez, it's like every track has an energy. Every track carry a different energy. It brings me on a different vibe. And track 1 and track 2 tells like a very strong story. The collaboration with your sister, I Am, to moving into colonial bondage and just the whole vibration of it. Talk to us a little bit about, the creation process and how long did it take you to compile Blood and Fire?
Um, I've been writing this album my whole life, Keshima. I gotta be real with you, Like some of these songs, like even I Am, that song is like 8 years old, Me and Kelly made that in one little bedroom, like the beginning of it, and just the percussions and the guitars. That just forward, So some of these songs are tucked away. Like I felt like when I Am was born, I wasn't even good enough musically to 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 finish that song. So I did have to live more life. I did have to get more wisdom. I did have to become better musically for even finish some of these songs. But when I started to buckle down now and we seen a project in front of me, I would have said it took me about a year to put everything in the midst of knowing that we have a busy schedule and we're doing other things other than just recording an album. But over the course of a year, we recorded a lot of it on tour too.
Mm-hmm.
Where a lot of these songs were just jamming. It's like real old time recording, jamming. It's not no fast food thing. We make one song 10 different time,
Oh
10
wow.
different studio. You know what I mean? Before, because if it not right, it not right. And me can't, me as a man, me can't fake music, That's why I not even like when certain people play music for me, because I'm afraid it not sound good, because I can't fake it. So when me hear something in the studio, I know it's not it, and it might be challenging with the team, some of the producers who I work with or whatever. But people understand what me I try to do, you know what I mean? And yeah, I would say over a course of a year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So being so meticulous about the music and your creation process, Kez, how did you narrow it down to collaborations with Mavado and Masicka? What was that selection process like?
All right. So with Mavado now, big up Vast Productions. They're the co-producers of that, and they were working on an album for themselves, and then they sent me that record, and as soon as me hear it, me record my part, you know what I mean? And they had a little demo track for Mavado's part, and I did know big up Julian pop style music anywhere on the day that Julian has always been a force and a resource for us as a these are the people where we reach out to, where we not on a link or nothing, we link pop style and Julian and them Monday, and he worked close handly with Mavado, and we reached out to them, and I think that was my first experience of trying to get a big artist and the bleaching thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we did bleach for Mavado, you know what I mean? And, many times we went to Miami and we thought we were going to record the song, and we never do it and we never do it. And then finally one time him just link we and say, yo, we're ready. And him do it. And I'm not telling a lie, Mavado is such a genuine youth, Keshima. One of the
Mm-hmm.
most genuine artists where just genuine support and just want to see we win, you know what I mean? And same thing with Masicka, big up Kaba. He was in Miami recording a bunch of songs with Vass again at the time, and with Don Carleon. And they called me and say, yo, they knew that Masicka is one of my favorite artists. And I listen to Masicka a lot. And you have to understand, me and Masicka go way forward in our history, because Masicka come on my first show, I don't know if you remember that, but my first show, which was in Ligani opposite Burger King right there. So we did keep a show. That was my first show, and it was in this little space upstairs, and it ram. Them time
Mm-hmm.
there, Masicka did have a tune with Kabaka Pyramid.
Yeah, yeah,
Name
yeah.
Wagwan Masi, Wagwan Kabaka.
Yeah, well, go
So I
on,
think they were
brother.
like promoting that at the time. Yeah, Wagwan brother, so I think Kabaka actually brought him to my show. And that was the first time we meet him, and we always, respected each other's work and in DM. And I think he reached out to me to actually work on great net that what the first
Generation
album
of
name?
Kings,
What the one before?
438.
Yeah, 438. He was working on that and DM
Mm-hmm.
me and reach out to me to actually be a part of the project, but it just timing and everything, it never worked out. So we always kept in contact, and then, with Grateful, there we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Then
that's
we
an
did,
amazing
yeah,
track.
yeah, 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 man. Big up Masicka and the whole team and the whole genocide. such great youths doing great things. You know what I mean? And as I say, yo, we want to see more unity amongst the item and amongst the whole of we because trust me, man, the world waiting for us, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's
no.
why I wanted to bring, and then obviously Kelisa representing the other side as another feature on the album. It was three features. Kelisa, my sister, which was one of her first songs in a long while where she dropped, and then Mavado and Marla Nasha, and then Masicka. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. No, you mentioned a while ago the importance of the unity in the industry. How do you think this can be achieved? You know, like you would have gone out there, you have your personal experiences, and I know you also see some of what is happening in the industry, but especially as a Rastafarian entertainer, how do you think unity can be achieved?
How it can be achieved? I just think we have to understand that as a culture, for us to actually make a mark, it can't just be one person doing well. It has to be a group of us doing
A
extremely well,
collective.
a collective of us doing if we actually want to turn up the industry and get a proper industry working and in cycle with we. I don't know how it can be achieved, you know what I mean? But I think things like what me that's why I'm specifically set on stage reggae and dancehall because them a try split up the thing. We can't. There's this big argument of splitting up the genre. We can't afford to do that right now because we need the unity of both genres coming together to actually be impactful before we can even discuss anything of separating the genre or whatever.
But
You
but you
know
know
what I
why
mean? So
people, you know why some people call for the separation though, because they're thinking that, you know, when reggae and dancehall is in one category, for example, like how the Grammys have it, some people are of the notion that the two are different, so why not have separate categories for them?
let me tell you why. Because in most categories, right, in these kind of things, you have 500 or 800 entries, right? This year we only had 77 entries. So if we was to split this up right now, they would probably delete the whole category. You know what I mean? So and logistically, it doesn't make sense because we only have 77 entries. While we're on the cusp of more losing the category than actually keeping it because there's such little entries when it comes on to getting considered for a project, you know. So that should give people a little bit perspective, you know.
So
But
more entertainers then need to submit like their projects, providing it is within the Grammy eligibility period.
yes, yes, you know, Keshima, it's not just about the technicality of it, but I feel like we need to approach from a more project-based situation. I feel like dancehall has always been a space where it's flooded with music, which is great. I'm not saying for not do that, but I feel like we need to take creating projects a little bit more seriously and putting together a body of work and not just a bunch of singles, a story and a narrative of a project. I feel like um the more we do that and the more we center our focus around bodies of work on the global space, we're going to see a lot more eyes on us because that's how the global world receives music. They want it a part of for me to go. Festivals would not want to book me if the first thing them ask me is that if I have an album or a project. So it's very crucial that we step in with bodies of work and not just throwing out singles every. Not saying that it's throwing out singles. That's not a problem, but it needs to be a part of a bigger narrative and a body of work where people can listen from track 1 to track 12 without skipping and practicing how to put that together. I feel like if we do that more as a culture, the thing that argument of boy we need it will change very quickly. Yeah.
No, Coffee, Kabaka Pyramid, and no you KEZNAMDI, all Grammy winners representing a new generation of reggae artists. What do you think, sets this era apart from those who came before?
As I said before, this is not the first time the reggae revival happen. So it what is just our time, and you have to understand. Them say Jackal and the youth for their strong. The reason why you will say that now is because we're at a place in our life where we're old enough to capture the wisdom, but we're still young enough to talk to a little youth. You know what I mean? So we're very when we're in our peak of our lives where we're very relatable to a wide audience. You know what I mean? So this lineup of nominees was a crucial one, very iconic. Like Vybz Kartel, big up Martima, big up Jesse Royal, and big up Leela Ike. Representing. When we step out there, you know, you want to see when we see Leela over so, I see Martima over so, and I see Jesse. It's just such a proud moment. For no say, these are my actual peers that I was freestyling with at Jamnesia when I just two people out there look on me and know all of us are here. And I think that is a turning point for our generation for sure. Say, you know, yo, we are stand up too, and we are do a part, and we have do the work too, and we are play with part, and be a part of the narrative, and we're contributing to the culture. You know what I mean? So not in a conscious way too. Cause all of those artists what I call positive, and then you have Vybz Kartel who is just yo, what a man, like, we can't look, just look at what him achieving in a global space. Like, him literally lift up reggae and dancehall in him own self and pick it up for the whole away. Where we can think bigger and we can and see a longer journey out there, you know. So I think this is a huge turning point for Jamaican music again to be on the map in a whole on a global space again, even at, like how we've always been, you know.
And as you mentioned,
Yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say,
No,
as you mentioned, all those nominees, like I see on social media where you got the congratulations from your peers. There was also a conversation where people felt like Vybz Kartel should have posted KEZNAMDI because not have a song together. But I also hear how you speak about him. But for persons who think that he should have done that, what do you think?
social media, you can't follow social media. His team immediately reached out and
Yes.
just say, yo, congratulations, youth. Love what you do and keep you always, you make me proud. This is his team reaching out. So as I said, people, you can't follow social media. These are these people reach out, you know what I mean, to you. And as me say, if you follow all of them comment there, you're gonna run in on one dead end road, and you're gonna end up start fight you on yourself. You know what I mean? So, as I said, him team reach out, and that to me bigger than social media. Forget a direct call from the king
Yes.
of dancehall himself. Me did that for it was an honor to even receive that call, you know what I mean, from his team. So big up Cartel and big up TJ. Anyone they want to respect large and we love one another and keep and we wish you much more success along the way. For all of the nominees, Leela Ike and our team, Protege, we love what you do with Leela. Like, it's so commendable. To see how Proto and Leela roll is so is just me just love how them roll. Like Protege dead upon the red carpet, and him dead it right the same now make a something now make nothing miss for Leela, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
big respect in the indignation and them. And the same thing with Jesse. When we went to pick up our medallions, it was me and Jesse I hold apart, and it was just we just a laugh, and we are born with herb, same way over this time. Everybody I look on we, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then
Yeah.
Martima, we went to his vinyl signing before the Grammys to give him support, and we go buy my vinyl from Martima and get my personal signature from Martima, and he had a whole line of people out there signing autographs and talking about his journey, and it's just like it is literally mind-blowing. Like, damn, it can't believe this is happening for everybody at this pace. So yeah, man.
Wow.
Big up to all of the
Amazing.
team there, man. We wish everybody more love and more success.
What will be
Yeah, man.
your purpose as a Grammy winning artist now with a bigger platform representing Rastafari and the music out in the world?
Yeah, I think that I have a non-profit where the name of it is called More Than a Melody. And the story behind that is just like, you see the kind of music where we sing, Keshima, It's a service-based music, you know. You can't just sing, you know. You have to do things, you have to do works. And that has always been the mission, you know. And as I said, going back to my parents again, my parents, all they did was activist work. All they did there, all I seen my parents do was contribute to the community growing up. Whether it's meeting, my mother sit down for meeting every single day with the Rastafari community before this hurricane thing, during and after, and even
Wow.
before all of this. So big up, mommy. We're fighting a lot of battles with the Rastafari Mansions organization, which is where we're trying to rebuild and rebuild all the centers around Jamaica and raising awareness about that. So we have a lot of work to do with that. And then also big up Jabem, who is the Jamaican Beach Association to fight for. I just became the ambassador, the official ambassador for that
Oh,
cause.
amazing.
And so we're going to be doing a lot of stuff in regards to raise awareness about, you know, fighting against imperialism as a third world country and making sure that we,
The
we, we
beaches are
get what
free
is
and
due.
accessible.
Yeah, and just the mindset, man, the colonial mindset trying to erase that. So, you know, for we, the only thing we can do with this Grammy is provide more service. And as
Wow.
I say, it's not, the music is fun and everything. And at the end of River Jordan, there's somebody speaking who is my father and Chakula, and I'm basically, that says everything all in the interlude, where I say, what we are gonna do? Just sit down and burn ganja and make music. That is what we didn't know. We Rastafari is a cause, and we have a mission to really connect the dots of people on a conscious level. You know what I mean? So that is the forefront where, and will always be, and we're always a part of those conversations, and participating in anything that we can do to contribute on all these levels. We still have every year we do things, we're back to school thing, and it's only gonna be bigger for this year. So big up the whole of the youth them. Big up the whole of Skyline, big up the whole of Burrell River, Hillfoot, Augustown, the whole of Uptown of Philly, you know, our place that, you know. So when you go up Uptown, in a them area there, when you call KEZNAMDI there, you mention Chakula and Goldilocks, or you mention Skyline levels, them know what is our family and what we do for the community around this. So big up the whole of the area. We have enough works to do, and yeah, man.
Yeah, amazing. Now, Kez, for a young upcoming artist right now, reggae artist who is listening and they're on their road to success, what advice can you give to them?
You know, I get this question a lot and it don't change. One of my mantras that I live by in the past 2 years is really to not skip any steps. You know, I remember early out in my journey, I always wanted the big feature, or trying to get on Sunfest when it's not my time, or trying to get on all of these things. And I feel like the best thing you can do is have tunnel vision and don't skip any steps. Master every step. If only 20 people can come on your show, make sure 20 people there and it's sold out. You know what I mean? Then we skip to 100 people. Then we go up. Don't try skip the line. Join the line, tunnel vision, and don't skip any steps. And have your discipline and your work, you know. And I think that is the main thing, because most artists they don't get through the part of being unheard and unseen. Unheard and unseen, it brings a lot of anxiety, especially if you've been doing it for a long time. Imagine you're 7 years in. Imagine I am 10 years in, I'm just I get my Grammy. People just know about KEZNAMDI. I would have said the world just know about KEZNAMDI. That's why there's this big debate online where who is this? Who is KEZNAMDI? Then you have all the people where you talk about the man being at the work and bigger putting, just do your research. The work is there. So what me I try to show you is that there's been many times when I could have give up and did want to give up too. You know what I mean? Enough time I say, boy, I don't know if more I gotta just do my music for this my little self. Me nah bother try push up my music and push up myself. Enough time I go in at them little realms there and see it, look where we there now. So it's not about just don't skip any step. That would be my advice. Just yeah, do the work. Tunnel vision.
Amazing. And finally, Kez,
Yeah, man.
how do you define success?
Um, as I said, I define it by how much people you can impact. That would be how I define it. That is how I would define it. How the magnitude of people you can impact is how I gauge my success.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
KEZNAMDI, this was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Lots of messages coming through for you. The people must say, nice interview. Look here, Kish, big up a Grammy winner, you know. One KEZNAMDI.
Yeah, yeah,
Congratulations.
man. Yes, man. Love. Big up the whole chat, you know what I mean? The chat always a chat, you know, so we big up the chat, same way. Yeah,
Them
man.
always a chat for real. But the album is absolutely
Yeah,
brilliant. Continue doing it, and we're expecting greater
yeah.
things from KEZNAMDI. Forever grateful, you know. How you say it.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. Give her thanks. And Keshima's again, I just want to send my love to you and the whole IRIE FM team. They've been a huge component in getting the message out for me and just genuine. Big up to all of the DJs on IRIE FM where put the young youth them on a platform. And that's very important to keep the thing going. We have to showcase what's next so we can keep going. And IRIE FM has always been that platform that do that. And Kshema, we see the works. You need to do a road to something. Somebody need for an interview. You know, to
Oh
the road to
gosh.
success. You know, so
The
yeah, man.
spotlight.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
KEZNAMDI,
man.
thank you so much. And thank you on behalf of the entire IRIE team. You know, just continue being great. And thanks for making IRIE your first official interview on the road to success. We appreciate you.
Yes, man. Love and honor Kshema every time. Yeah,
All
man.
right.
Respect. Yeah.
Secure in the bed, financial freedom, barrel full up of crap.